In this lecture, we need to discuss TLS, Transport Layer Security, and mobile-ready sites.
Let's begin with TLS, or SSL as many people know it, Secure Sockets Layer, though that's actually the older version that's been superseded by TLS.
Without getting into too much geeky detail, Transport Layer Security is an encryption system that scrambles data being sent between your web browser and the server. When you connect to your bank or check out a shopping website, usually the connection is a TSL connection, and it certainly should be.
You can tell when you have a secure connection a couple of ways. First, here's a non-secure connection. If you look at the URL in the location bar, you'll see that it begins with http://. HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, the essential communication protocol of the World Wide Web. Now let's look at Google. Google uses TLS for all communications with users. So whenever you search at Google, whenever Google sends you a page of search results, the data being transmitted is encrypted, scrambled. Yahoo does this too. You'll see that the URL uses HTTPS, the S meaning HTTP secure, or perhaps originally HTTP over SSL. You'll also see that there's a lock icon when on a secure connection, over here on the left in Chrome, on the right in Firefox and Internet Explorer. So what's the big deal from an SEO perspective? Well, Google wants the entire web to go secure. The company believes that all transmissions across the web should use TLS. They should be encrypted. So in 2014, they began encouraging site owners to do this. And one thing they did was to begin giving a small boost in the search ranks to pages that are delivered over TLS. How do you use TLS? All you need to do is install what is most commonly known, ironically, as an SSL certificate, sometimes as an SSL/TLS certificate, and only occasionally as a TLS certificate. You should probably search for SSL certificate. The term SSL is so ingrained that few people understand that the security system is no longer SSL. For every person searching for a TLS certificate, more than 600 search for SSL certificate. These things cost from around $50 a year to several $100s a year.
Now, don't rush out and buy one right now. The boost to search results is probably pretty minor. However, the influence of TLS on search results is likely to increase over time. If I were running a major corporation site, I'd be switching over to TLS right away. If your situation is one of watching every penny, I wouldn't worry about it right now. I would think hard about mobile sites though. A huge proportion of searches are now carried out from mobile devices. From laptops and tablets, of course, but more importantly from smartphones. Google looks at searches to figure out what kind of device they're coming from, and if the device is a small mobile device, generally a smartphone, Google will give higher weight to sites that are mobile friendly, sites that will display well on that device. Now, you're probably thinking, well, few people coming to my site are using mobile devices, it's okay, but you're almost certainly wrong. I have a heavy industry client with what many would think of as unsophisticated computer illiterate customers, and yet early in 2015, 29% of the traffic to their site came from smartphones. Other sites are reporting much higher figures, and the numbers are rapidly increasing.
So whatever business you're in, if your site isn't mobile friendly, it will not perform as well as it might for a significant portion of searches. And you're not just worried about Google. Bing began flagging sites as mobile friendly when delivering results to mobile devices, and has begun using mobile friendliness as a ranking criteria in some cases. So, what is mobile friendly? There are 3 ways to make a site mobile friendly. Firstly, there's responsive design. This uses sophisticated HTML to automatically change the layout of a web page depending on what device it's displayed on. This is the most popular method to use these days, the most modern, and the one recommended by Google. The second way is to use dynamic serving, in which you have 2 versions of every web page, and the web server sends out the most appropriate version each time, depending on the device requesting it. Finally, there's separate URLs. In effect, you have two versions of your website with different URLs for each page. Again, the server picks the most appropriate page to send each time. This isn't a course about web development, but these two links can help. The first provides information on the whole mobile issue, while the second provides a testing tool. You can enter a URL and see if the page that comes back is mobile friendly.
Now, this may all seem very scary. All of a sudden, your web development project is getting much more complicated. But it just means you need to pick the right tool. WordPress, for instance, can work with responsive design themes. So if you are about to build a site, you really should seriously consider making sure you use a responsive design layout. If you have an old site, well, that's a much more difficult decision to make. Perhaps you can put off making changes now, but there's a good chance it could significantly impact your results over the long run.